Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Single Parents Podcast, the show that is far from traditional. If you end up enjoying what you see and liking what you hear, consider subscribing to the podcast, sharing the podcast with a friend, and rating the podcast 5 stars on your favorite podcast hosting platforms. That way, we can tell those algorithms out there that the show is legit, and it will pass it along to more people. All right, well, here's a little taste as to what you can expect on today's show.
You haven't heard from the guy in, 5 hours? I'm like,
Right.
no. She's like,
Yeah.
are you worried about what he's doing? I'm like, not really, no. I'm worried about the Aperol Spritz that's in front of me, babe. That's what I'm worried about.
Yo, 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 what is up, all my beautiful people out there? Welcome to the SPP with Jess and Anthony. That kind of rhymed. That rhymed a
Yeah.
little bit. Well, that works. That works.
No, that was good.
Let's see. What's going on? What's happening in the world these days? We're in that weird time of year in between Halloween, which is over, and Thanksgiving's coming up. And then obviously, you got the big holidays depending on what you celebrate. We got Christmas coming up and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and winter solstice, all those things. So we're just in that part of the year where everybody's like doing stuff, but everybody's just kind of like over it. Like, let's just get to the end of the year because I'm thinking about cookies that need to be baked and Christmas trees that need to be put up and ugly sweaters that need to be bought. So I think maybe I'm speaking for myself. I'm just kind of in that like, meh, we're just chilling. We're just doing the things, getting to New Year's. I don't know. How's it going for you in this end of the year season?
I feel like everything's fine. I know that I will have to make my new vision board. The only thing is that I didn't make my vision board in January. I'll have to look back when I made it. I don't know if it was March or something like that because it wasn't at the beginning of the year, but I need to start thinking about my vision board for next year. It's also soup season, and I need to get into making some like really good soups, because I feel like I make like chili and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I tried like a lasagna soup. That one was so good. It was like viral on TikTok, but I need to start figuring out some other soups that I'm gonna make for the season. But I also feel just very chill. It really is that in between stage.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Thanksgiving. I'm excited to eat a lot, and I'm excited for the holidays. I feel like I'm like itching to start shopping for Christmas for some reason,
Okay.
just so I don't have any stress when it comes to December. I don't
Sure.
know.
That
I
makes
just want to
sense.
be well prepared so I could be even more chill in December, and then January hits and I go to Japan.
That's right. Yeah, I'm so excited to hear all about that trip.
I can't wait.
I love Japanese culture. I love their food. I love their anime. I love
Oh my
their
gosh, yeah.
beautiful women. So,
Oh my
yeah.
God, I told my sister-in-law, I keep seeing these videos on TikTok of like these sexy Asian men like with their
Oh,
shirts
yeah.
off serving food.
Yep.
And I'm like, we're going with this. We're kicking my
Mhm.
brother out, and it's
Sure.
you and I. We're going for a lunch or something
Oh,
like
my
that, and we're
gosh.
watching these hot boys with their
Do
shirts off,
it.
and they're gonna like
Oh,
serve us
man.
like sushi. Ooh, I can't wait.
Oh, my gosh. That sounds exciting. But I have a big question for you because you
Okay,
brought this up. We cannot move past this until I get an answer because
got
this
it.
is this might divide some people in our comment section. So let's
Okay.
just see. But you brought up soup season.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah, yeah,
big, I've been a big soup slut. Love me some soup.
yeah.
But you also brought up chili. So in your opinion,
Okay.
is chili a soup?
Feel like it is,
Okay.
or is chili in its own category?
See, that's the civil war happening in the food industry these days. People, and the same thing with same thing with cereal. Is cereal a soup? I mean, it's kind of the same thing, right? Or is that its own category too? What constitutes a soup? Is it just like broth and some stuff in a broth?
Yeah, maybe it's a liquid base,
Because
but
then, like I said, milk is a liquid, so cereal could be that. Or what's the difference? Or is chili a stew? So like, what's the difference between
what's the
when?
difference? I don't know what a
Yeah.
stew is.
When is it cross between being a soup and a stew? Is it like the liquid to meat and other vegetables and stuff in their ratio? I don't know. But in your opinion, soup is a no, excuse me, chili is a soup.
I would think so. I feel like it's damn, I don't know. I've never even thought
You
about
never
that.
thought, yeah,
Okay,
these are the big questions.
I feel like it goes in the same category as
Yeah.
soup. I'm just gonna say it.
Okay.
It's done. It's
There you
in
go.
the same category as soup.
Yeah. I think I would agree because I think if I'm thinking to myself, if I'm at a restaurant and I ask them like, "Hey, what are your soups of the day?" and they say, "Oh, we have like a chili con carne or whatever," would
Mm,
I get offended by that, or I'd be like, "Okay, cool. I think
yeah.
I would accept that because I could see that."
Mm.
Now I'm just getting hungry though, so
Yeah, I know. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm
me
like,
neither.
ooh, I'm a girl's hungry now.
Yeah, so we can move on from that. But to your point about vision boards, I have never made one of those before.
You
And I think I
should.
should. I think that would be a good, actually, you know what? That would be a good way for us to start off the show in 2026 is us sharing different aspects of our vision boards that we've made and
Yeah.
what we want to
Oh my
accomplish in the new year.
gosh.
That's a good idea. Okay.
I think that's perfect.
I like
Yeah.
it.
I feel really good about that.
Let's do that. Let's do that. But a big part of my 2025 vision board, if I had one, it would say this. It would say, good people of the Single Parents Podcast, I don't really like doing plugs and mentioning stuff for you to go do when we're in like the real meat and potatoes of the podcast episode. Sorry for bringing up food again. But I have something on my 2025 vision board I would love for you to help make true. As of recording of this podcast episode right now, we are only 5 people away from subscribing to the show on Spotify before we hit 100 Spotify subscribers. That, in my
Yee,
opinion, is kind of a big deal, kind of huge. So, would love to
it
end the
is.
year with 100 Spotify subscribers. Want to end that 2025 season with that number. So, if you would please, if you're not already and you're feeling generous, you're in a good mood, then maybe hit pause on this podcast right now. Go to your Spotify account or pause it. And if you're on Spotify, just hit that subscribe button. Please, please, please. We're only 5 away from 100. So I know
Mm,
I'm sorry for that little commercial, but it would just be so cool to end the 2025 year in the triple digits on Spotify. So,
yeah.
anyways, but yeah, we're doing good as a podcast. I love doing this podcast, even though it is a lot of work. It's amazing, especially ever since it's been a couple of months now. We
I
brought
think so.
on Jessica, our lovely, beautiful, amazing, smart co-host of the show full time.
Ah,
It's been so great. But I was thinking the other day, people, I was like, you know what? It's been wonderful having Jessica on board. She's doing great things on the show. But I have not done a very good job at taking advantage. I guess maybe I could phrase it like that. Taking advantage of the fact that I have a full-time female co-host of the show sitting, well, we're recording this, so now I
yeah,
was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say
We're
sitting in
across from
front of
each
me,
other. It's fine.
across from me, side by side, whatever. And so I was like, you know what, as a dude, I'm a straight man, I deal with a lot of issues with women and navigating those waters and a lot of questions and insecurities, and we're always joking, man, about like how do we figure out women. And I deal with that often, but I'm like, well, hold on a sec. I literally have an hour or more every week where I can have access to a smart woman that I should probably utilize when it comes to getting some help, getting some clarity, having some questions
Yeah.
answered. And I know maybe maybe you feel the same way, Jessica, about the men out there.
Yes, I do. Well, I mean, even last week I was talking about how I like started asking you questions and I was like, damn, I have so many. We need to just have a full podcast episode of it. So we went on a little tangent last weekend, or not last weekend, last week with the podcast episode. So here's more. I can't wait.
So we're just going to do that. Yeah, we're just going to take advantage of the fact that we have each other here and we're going to just ask each other questions about the opposite sex and hopefully get some clarity and learn more about how to engage with them better, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
We'll
don't
see.
know.
We'll see.
It's so funny. Anthony was like, I have 3
Yeah, I
questions, and I
do.
was like, "Oh, I have 7."
Yes, Jessica's ready to go. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? How do you want to do this thing?
You can go first. That's fine.
Okay. I'm doing this one for the boys
Okay.
because as we've talked about, I don't know, it was a few episodes ago, we did a breakdown of some people's responses that to a post I made on a single parents dating Facebook group page.
Mhm.
That's a great I love that episode. Probably one of my favorite episodes we've done this year so far. So go check that episode out. But I'm still active on that page. I still see people commenting, and sometimes they ask questions. And one of the homies on that page today actually had a question. So I'll get to my personal questions in a minute, but this one is for the homies. So, Jessica, here is his question for the ladies. Question for the ladies. Why give a man a fake number if you're not interested, especially if he didn't ask for it? Even if he was flirting a little. I flirt a little sometimes, but I don't ever ask for numbers because I always get shut down. Aw.
Mm.
But then this morning, a woman gives me a number only to find out it's not actually hers, like WTF dot dot dot. So, Jessica, so I guess for some of these, I'm assuming we're just going to have to speak for our entire sex, right? So maybe
Yeah.
you don't give out fake
Yeah.
numbers, but there's women out there who do. So, Jessica, why do women be giving out fake phone numbers? Go for it.
That's so funny because I was gonna start it by saying, like, I would just tell somebody, "No, thank you."
Mm-hmm.
Like, "I'm just sorry, I'm
Yes,
not interested."
I knew that's what you were gonna say, so I had to preference that.
You know me all
I
too
know you
well
so
now.
well. I
Yeah.
do.
Well, it's because I'm too blunt and honest and, like, why just dance around the fact? But
But to this
anyway.
guy's point, maybe he would rather that. Like I'll let you answer the question, and then
Mhm.
yeah, we'll get into it. So how would you respond to homie here?
Okay, so I think that girls probably do it because they don't wanna hurt somebody's
Mm,
feelings,
yeah,
honestly. I feel like it's because some women, I guess, I should say, some women are too scared to just, like, tell somebody straight up, "I'm not interested." And that's why people ghost too, like, if you're
true.
talking to somebody or after a first date or something like that and you're not interested in them, they end up just ghosting them and ignoring them. So I think it's probably the same way because people don't like confrontation, they're
True.
scared to hurt somebody's feelings, they don't know how the other person is going to react. So, to me, it's probably just because they don't wanna hurt his feelings and they don't know how to just say
Mm,
no because they're honestly too timid. I don't know. That's probably it. Or
that's
they don't
fair.
wanna yeah, they just don't wanna hurt the guy's feelings. I
Hmm.
don't know.
And I've heard too. You can tell me if you think this is true or this is BS. But I've heard that women will do it because they're maybe too scared to tell the guy, not like scared out of like being nervous, but like scared because they don't want the guy to get pissed and violent or whatever. So to diffuse the situation, they'll give out a fake number and then get the heck out of there because they don't want to make the guy start raging out. Is that true?
I mean, I've never heard that before. But also, I'm not afraid of anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I just who are these men that they're interacting with? You know, you meet a
True.
guy at a bar and he's asking for your phone number, you could easily just, like, walk away. You don't have to get into a conversation with somebody if they look big and scary and you're not liking their vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think that a guy would get violent. That'd be crazy to, like, do that in a public place. That doesn't sound true to me. I don't know if that would ever happen to a female, but, I mean, I'm literally never afraid of anybody, so I would literally be like, "I'm not interested in you, you need to calm down," or something like that, and then I would get, like, males around me, the bartender, if it's a
Right, right,
male,
right, right.
security, like, I don't know.
That's a good answer. I respect that. I trying to think of the last time I asked a girl for her number. I don't think I ever do. I usually just go through like social media or like
That's a
it's
new thing, socials.
yeah, like you ask for the IG is usually the move.
Yeah.
So it's kind of harder to I guess for the girl to lie about that. But then she could just block you super easy if she doesn't want to talk to you. So I guess she obviously has that option. But if I was in this guy's shoes, I guess like I understand like not wanting to hurt people's feelings, but I think I would rather just have a girl tell me straight up like, hey, no, I'm not interested, I'm not going to give you my number, than the fake number thing, because that's just kind of like, you
They're
you
leading
get
you
that
on.
high. Yeah, you get that high, and then you're like, oh, that, and then you just feel like, then you feel like kind of like a creep and a weirdo, because like maybe I approached a girl and I have good intentions, and she gives me a fake number, like I'm sort of like criminal or some sort of delinquent or something like that, and I'm just like, no, I was just being nice. You could have just
Yeah,
told
I
me
swear
no.
I'm a nice guy.
I promise I'm a nice guy, which we'll talk about later. But a little spoiler. Um,
Okay.
okay. So, anyways, we can keep it moving. But that's your answer to the question, is because maybe girls are just nervous, right?
Yeah, they're just nervous. They don't wanna they're scared about the confrontation and being upfront, saying, "I'm not interested."
Yeah, okay, good answer. All right. So, what's your first question from me?
Okay, my very first question, I feel like if I give a little background to
Okay.
it, not even I don't even have to give much background. You know how like girls, they like to post the selfies, the thirst traps, the bikini photos and
Oh yeah.
whatever.
Mm.
I mean, not all girls, but we all like to do it every once in a while. And girls do it, I don't know. I guess it's for different reasons. Um, you do it one because you want to remind people how hot you are. Two, you want attention. I just had the third one in my mind. Ooh, and I don't even remember what it is. But anyway, you do it for those reasons, like, oh, because you can, like that's kind of like what I do.
Okay.
I see so many things on TikTok that are like, if you are a pretty girl, you need to just be posting yourself
Mm-hmm.
because it can bring you so much success just by being a pretty girl. So
Yeah.
start posting videos of yourself just being a pretty girl, and it'll get you somewhere, like, cuz they say like looks sell. Is that what it is? No.
Yeah. Oh, for
Looks
sure. Yeah. They call it, and also they call it
looks
the pretty privilege.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Pretty privilege. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
steering to the other side, guys that like post lots of selfies or like shirtless pictures or, the thirst traps. Why do they do that? Is it for the same reasons? Do they want attention from other females? Would that be a purpose of it? Because they're wanting female attention? Or tell me what's the tea?
I would say that's a part of it, but I would say, in a weird way, for guys, it's probably not even all about the females. I think a lot of
Hmm.
guys do it. Same thing with like the gym bro mentality. That's what I call it. Like a guy who's like super in to like going to the gym and doing all the stuff and the protein powder and all that stuff. Like you see who they're interacting with and you see
Mm-hmm.
who their circle is, and it's other gym bros with the same muscles. And so you're
Yeah.
thinking they're there to flex the ladies, but they're there, complimenting each other and giving each other tips and saying like, yeah, after this, let's go. I'll show you this cool new supplement shop I found and all this stuff. And I think it's the same way. Like, I think if part of what it is, to get deep, is that men have a harder time being open about the fact that we are human beings, and as human beings, we're community driven people, and we thrive in community and relationships and stuff like that. And sometimes, for some reason, maybe some stupid culture reason, admitting that, like, hey, I'm kind of lonely, or I'd like a community, or I would like a group of bros and friends and stuff like that, is seen as not as masculine or whatever. Like, that's a women thing. Women talk about how they need to get together with the girlies and have brunch and stuff like that. So instead of just coming out right and saying that, like, hey, I'm looking for a community, I'm looking for my guys, we'll just do almost like passive aggressive stuff like that to put ourselves out there in the hopes of finding a community, whether it's through fitness, like, so you put your gym pictures out there, putting out your muscles, or that's why a lot of guys will do like the fish, the cliche fish picture where they're holding up the fish and they're doing
Oh
stuff with
yeah.
fish, or sports, and they always talk about those do stuff with sports, or simp guys like video games and stuff like that. Like, we're doing it, yeah, obviously to impress the ladies because we want to get laid and all that stuff. But I think
Yeah.
also because we want to just put out there like, hey, this is who I am. It'd be nice if I could find other people and feel accepted for what I'm all about. And I think instead of just coming out and saying like, hey, I'm lonely, I need friends, we just do subtle stuff like that and hope that people take the bait. So that's my deeper answer.
But what if it's clearly like just like a selfie thirst trap? Like of them trying to look good, whatever.
Well, then it's
How
that's yeah for sure for the girls. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Then
okay.
the guy's just he's just ready. Like I said, he's just trying to put it out to see who basically
Who
as a
swipes
guy,
up,
yeah,
who they could start a conversation with.
likes, yeah, because if a girl like likes your story, if a girl swipes up, if a girl writes a comment, then as a guy, like that's like my green light
Validating.
to shoot my shot. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do it, but we as guys we do it too. We put that out because maybe we want one or two or three specific people to see this picture, and
Oh,
we want
okay.
those specific people to reach out because that's why they call it a thirst trap, because we're trying to
Yeah, 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 yeah.
trap some
Okay.
honeys, we're trying to bring them in, trying to
The
reel, like fishing,
honeys.
we're trying to reel them in. And so but you don't want to be the creep and just start dry DMing girls, because then you seem
Right.
desperate and stuff like that. But if she likes your picture, if she swipes up and say, oh, cute shirt, or oh, I was at the gym earlier today too, haha, then like, okay. Number one, she's watching your stories, which is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
good
yeah.
sign. And number two, she's liking what she's seeing. And number three, she's engaging, right? She's putting out herself a little bit. So then, as a guy, that would be my cue to be like, okay, let me just at least
She's interested.
throw the line in the water and see if we can reel them in a little bit. So, oh, for sure, that's it. So, but yeah, I think guys, we're not that complicated. We're pretty straightforward, but we're just not the best at like just coming out and saying like what's up. Sometimes I think
Yeah, well, clearly
sometimes.
girls too with the phone number thing.
Oh, true. Actually, oh,
It's
okay, true.
yeah,
Yeah,
both ends. Like it's
yeah.
hard to just come out and say
Just
like
come
why
out
you're
and
truly
say.
doing it.
Yeah, just come out and say like, "Hey, I think you're hot," or "Hey, I need friends," or "Hey, like this is what I like." We just put ourselves out there, I guess, and just hope that people come to us, I guess. But then if everybody's waiting for everybody to come to them, then nobody's like taking initiative. And I don't know. It's a what did they say? Oh, they say there's a big male loneliness epidemic because of that. So
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like true because I like follow male influencers on like TikTok and Instagram. And, if I scroll through the comments, there aren't really a lot of girls being like, "Oh my God, he's so hot. And these are
exactly.
handsome men that I
Yeah.
follow. They're
Mm-hmm.
handsome.
Yep.
But like it's a bunch of guys being like, "Bro, you look so good." Like
See, exactly. But we don't hate that. Like we might think, oh man, we're all the girls at, but we as dudes, because we just don't know how to go out and make friends sometimes, we like the fact that the bros are hitting us up because
yeah,
we
oh,
all,
that's
like I
cute.
said,
I love
we all want community. So, anyways, yeah, that's yeah. I hope that answered that question at
Yeah.
least.
No, that was good. That was good. Thank you.
So I guess my next question. This is an Anthony original. This isn't somebody else. This is just me off the
Okay.
dome.
I'm ready.
So I guess my initial question, and then I'll kind of break it down a little bit. My initial question is, when do you know when to call it quits when it comes to pursuing a girl?
Mm.
So I guess my big dilemma I see sometimes is this constant tension between putting an effort to chase. I'm using a lot of air quotes if you're listening to the audio version of this only. To chase a girl, right? So you're like doing kind of what we said. You're DMing first. You're asking her out. You're engaging or initiating rather the conversation. You're liking her stories. You're doing the things to show you're interested. So you're putting in the work versus also the other side of that tension of like not doing too much and not being too annoying and not seeming too eager and not seeming too available. So that way she, gets the ick or just isn't thinking that, oh, well, he's just all about me. He's obsessed with me. So the
Mhm.
spark isn't there. It's not really exciting. So like, but also like you don't want the I've heard girls say they don't want the nonchalant guy who doesn't put in the effort,
Yeah.
who only replies with one word texts, who doesn't ask any questions. So I guess as a guy, when you're trying to pursue a girl, and you're doing the things and the responses are dry and she's taking a while to reply, and maybe I saw TikTok about this, like a guy will get super excited about asking a girl out and then she'll say yes and they have a date set, and it comes to the day of the date and he'll text her like, hey, can't wait to see you tonight, and she hits you with the old stinger, I've had this happen before, oh, you're gonna hate me, like crying
Oh,
emoji.
yeah.
I've had that happen before. It stings so bad.
Yeah.
Then you're like, but then you're like, okay, well, do I just say screw it, never talking to this girl again, or do I need to put in more work? Because is she just trying to have me chase her? So all that to say, what is the line to be like, hey? Sometimes you got, as guys, you just got to chase a girl that you want. That's why they say you pursue a girl. You just got to go after her, versus knowing, bro, you just gotta cut your losses.
Um, well, girls love to be chased.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
They really do love to be chased, and yes, you don't want, like, the nonchalant guy. You do not want that guy. You want, like, the one who, like, really pursues you and loves you, but at the be and that's when you're, like, well established. At the beginning, you wanna be more chill about it, and you have to drop the hints every once in a while. It's not like you're texting her constantly every single day. You're not swiping up on her stories every single day. It's just here and there. And you have to see like if she's, getting the bait. Like if she's grabbing the bone, you throw her a bone and see if she actually catches it. Um and if she doesn't really seem that interested, and then like you should probably stop like soon, because I think it's a waste of time. Like if a girl were to, you know, you slide into her DMs, whatever, and you say, wow, you look so good in this picture. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. And you're like, oh, I'd love to like take you out sometime. And she's like, yeah, like totally. Like, I'm free this day, this day, this day. Or I feel like I said this before where I'm usually like, oh, let me look at my schedule. And then I just never get back to them. You,
Right.
you have to be able to like meet in the middle. You'll be able to tell if she's actually interested. If she's taking days to respond, or she's like, "Oh, I'm just always busy." Like, you can send a text back.
Yeah.
I just or like canceling last minute.
Mhm.
She's just not interested. You should definitely never talk to that girl ever again.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Like, you'll be able to tell if somebody's interested. You really
Okay.
will. And I feel the same way about guys. Like, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to keep pursuing a guy if he doesn't seem that interested. If it takes him days to respond
Yeah.
and he sucks at planning dates, like, then he's just not that interested.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not willing to do these things for me, he's just not interested. So the same thing goes for a girl. If she's taking forever to respond and she never does the same back, like replying to your stories and stuff,
Okay. Okay.
like it's not like a 50-50 thing. Like you guys have to be able to like connect in some certain way, and if you guys do, that's when you can become like nonchalant, but that's once you're
Mm-hmm.
in a relationship and well
Right.
established. So at the beginning, I would be more chill and stuff, and if she
Okay.
doesn't, catch on to it, or she doesn't seem that interested, then I wouldn't even try anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because what could end up happening is if you're chill and you're like, "Oh, I don't even know if she's interested that much,"
Yeah.
then you like stop trying and she might end up reaching out. And if
Mm-hmm.
she is reaching out to you, then you're like, "Okay, let's have a date, like, let's go out for wine tasting or something like that." I don't know.
So is it true though that sometimes girls are like legit like bad texters and bad like at getting back, and maybe they would be interested but they just suck at that part of communication? Is that just something they say as an excuse, or are there really girls like that?
That one's a hard one because I feel like I'm thinking about myself, and I would say, like, I'm somebody who's not always good at communication, texting and stuff,
Hmm.
but it's because I just don't want to. I just don't want to. I don't wanna text somebody all day long. I just don't. I, like But some people want that for their relationship. Like, I had a friend and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I text him and call him like all day long and we just always do that for each other and I just don't do that." And she's like, "I don't know how you like don't do that. You haven't heard from the guy in, 5 hours." I'm like,
Right.
"No." She's like,
Yeah.
"Are you worried about what he's doing?" I'm like, "Not really, no.
Mm.
I'm worried about the Aperol spritz that's in front of me, babe. That's what I'm worried about."
That's funny. That's yeah. I know people who are like that because I know one guy who hates that because his girl will be like that. She'll like, we need to text like, how's work and like, what are you doing now and what are you doing
That is
now
so
and what's
yeah,
up.
that's boring.
And he's like, I don't want to do that because guess what's going to happen? I'm going to come home and I'm going to see
There's
you
nothing to
and we're
talk
going to have
about.
nothing to talk about because I told you everything about my day. So we're just going to sit there and silence or we're going to fight about something stupid because we have nothing else to talk about. And I'm like,
Right.
that is, but I think that comes from like a weird insecurity, right? Like, oh, if they're not texting me all day, if they're not thinking about me all day, which means they're probably thinking about somebody else, which means they probably want to go sleep
Yeah.
with somebody else. So they're probably sleeping with somebody else right now. Like it's just that weird snowball. So yeah, I
Yeah,
get,
I don't know. I it just like it works for other people's relationships, doesn't work for me. But yeah, I don't know. I would just say like if somebody isn't very responsive or stuff, like I feel like I would just match that energy and just take a while and then they'll pursue you if they really
yeah.
want to, like you try as much as you can and then you just let them try. Like a
Okay.
teeter-totter.
Oh, I like that. Okay, that makes sense. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, so everybody has to put in a little bit of effort, like analogy.
No, I like that. That's actually really, really good. Okay, cool, cool. All right. What's your next one?
My next one is why do men always come back after you move on?
Oh, because it's yeah, that's an easy one. Because our egos are gigantic, and we don't really care about you. Like, I know I'm being like, what's the
No,
word?
do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do
I'm
it. Do it.
being very like I'm exaggerating a lot, but like we don't care about you at the end of the day. Because if we really cared about you, we would have put in the work to actually be with you. We care about ourselves and our ego, and people with giant egos want what they can't have. So once they actually see that you move on, then all of a sudden, like, oh, okay, now I want to, again, we talked about this before, spin the block. Now we want to see what's up. And because we really care about ourselves. I'm trying to think
Mhm.
of how to share a story without giving too much business away. But basically, I have a friend. She was talking to this guy, and she just wanted to take things very slow. She's like, I like you. We'll hang out. We can do all the things, but like becoming official, what have you. Like, I have like a lot of trauma in my past, crazy divorce. So I'm taking
Mhm.
things slow. She has kids, all the things. So she's like, we can do stuff, but we're not putting a label on it. So one weekend, he or she rather goes out of town, and he's in town by himself. Long story short, he ends up hooking up with this other girl. And so he
Ooh.
comes back, and his reasoning is like, well, we're not really together. Like you said, you didn't want to be official. So, like, technically, like, I'm not cheating on you. Like, I just, blah, 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 blah. And she was kind of torn for a wit because she's like, technically he's right, like we're not
Yeah,
dating, so
that's hard.
he technically didn't cheat. But me being the amazing wise man that I am, I'm like, no, that's bullcrap, because you were honest about the fact that the reason why you don't want to be official with this dude is not because you don't like him or whatever. It's because you're on your healing journey and you're going through your own process of getting to that point. So for him to hear that from you and to say, well, screw that, I have no patience whatsoever, so I'm going to go sleep with this girl this weekend, that just shows me that he really didn't care about you. Because if he really cared about you, he would say, you know what? I like you so much. I understand that you're healing. I understand you need time. So let me be there with you throughout this journey, because I'm pursuing you. I'm committed to you. That way, when you are ready, we can pull the trigger and we could be together.
Yeah.
But because he didn't do that, he did the opposite, and he just had no patience. That just shows like he just really ultimately didn't care about you at the end. Because if he really wanted to be with you, what is the old saying? If a guy really wanted to, he would. So if he really wanted to
Yes.
be there, he wouldn't go stick it in some other girl and then try
That's so
to
true.
yap. And so she's like, oh my gosh. So anyways, she moved on because I'm really proud of her. She did a very good thing into saying, you know what, you're right. I don't deserve that. Um, I want somebody who's actually going to pursue me through the long haul. And she called it quits with him. He, I guess, moved on with some other girl. And then she moved on and just focused on her kids and her life. And then, sure enough, same thing. Probably saw she was moving on, doing all the things, healing, not worried about him. Of course,
Right.
he tries to circle back. And then, oh, I was in your neighborhood and I just thought maybe we
Oh
could get
my
together.
God.
And
Ew.
she's like, no, dude, no. But that's the perfect example of like that whole story shows never really cared about her, wasn't willing to do any type of effort to actually pursue her, to be in her life. He cared about himself. What's going to be immediate for me? Immediate for me is we need to make this official. Oh, okay. You don't want to do that? Okay. Well, immediate for me is now I see this other girl I can go hook up with right now. So I'm going to go do that. Immediate for me is, well, let me just try to spin the narrative. That way I can still have my cake and eat it too. What's good for me is now that I see that you're moving on, I want to come back because my ego is bruised that you're actually moving on without me. So, all that to say, that's why guys do it, is because they're just their fragile little egos will not allow them to uh, actually realize that there's some women, some things that they just can't have. So,
I mean, I just don't even know why guys can't just pursue like one girl. Like, here's
right.
the thing. This is like I feel like you can date multiple people, but when it comes to like
True.
sleeping with a bunch of different people at the same
Yeah.
time, I think that's a big no-no. And I also feel like if you go on a couple dates with a few different people, you usually find out which one you like the most
Sure.
and
Yeah.
you want to pursue them. Um, so I just don't understand why it's so hard. There were so many guys that I dated that
Mm-hmm.
like just could not pursue one girl at a time. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
what the fuck? If I'm not the only one, then I don't want to be with you. You know, if I find out that you're hooking up with some
Mm-hmm.
other girl,
Yep.
like we're just you're not even worth it to me. Like oh my God, crazy, crazy. I
Yeah.
love it's crazy when they come back.
I never got
Crazy.
that either because I just maybe like I'm old school. Again, I said this last episode. Like I haven't dated in a like actually been official with somebody in a while. Haven't been married in a while. So maybe I'm just out of touch. But like in my view, even if you don't have like the label Facebook official, Instagram official, like if you do like somebody, like the goal of dating and talking and hanging out is to like get to know that person so that way
Mhm.
you could see like okay what things could we possibly do to get to a point when we're official, not just we hang out, we have sex, we I don't know, watch TV, like whatever. Like the goal is just is that intimacy. And then if you don't feel like you have
Right.
that intimacy, that's the point of dating. Okay, cool. We went on a couple dates, don't think that's my person, wish you well, and then you move on, and then you meet somebody else, and then you just do that until you find somebody like, okay, I think this could be my person. So let's see what we need to do to really move forward in this. Is it like, okay, I want to move forward like my friend, but I just have some healing and some more therapy I need to go to first? Okay, cool. Like, let's just figure out together how to move forward in light of that. Is it, oh, I want to be with you, but financially I'm working on some stuff and there's a lot of stuff's going on with my job right now and all this stuff. Like, okay, cool. Like, let's just figure out together how to navigate that so that way when you're not so busy with your job or you have your finances straight, we could be together. But the point, again, I could be wrong, but the point is, it's like, how do you like pursue each other together in a way that's actually gonna be long term versus just, well, this is too inconvenient. She wants me to wait until she's done with therapy. Meh, too inconvenient, too much work. I don't have the patience for that. Oh, there's that girl over there. I'm gonna go hook up with her.
Oh my
Like that
God.
just, I don't know. I don't know. I
Slimy.
just, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
I
know. It's
guess
just
yeah,
it's the normal
yeah,
thing now. Like I feel like that's just how most guys
yeah.
are, to be honest. Like they're just horn dogs and they just feel like there's
Mm-hmm.
always a better option out there, so they need to have multiple, and it
Yes,
also is for
yes.
their egos probably, like how you were saying earlier. It's their ego. They wanna boost their ego. "Oh, I can sleep with 5 different girls at the
Yep.
same time because I'm this hot," or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
And I think I said this last episode, but a lot of it I'm sure has to do with like the social media effect of like you could be swiping on TikTok for example and you come across this girl's account and you just like, oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life, like holy crap, you want to like DM her, do all these things, and then you swipe up again, oh my gosh, forget that other girl, this girl is the
Yeah.
hottest girl I've ever seen in my life, holy. And then you swipe again and you're like, oh, so like you're just inundated with so much that you like there's just this weird thought of like, well, can I actually be content with my girl when I know I can go on Instagram and there's all these other girls I feel like I'm missing out on or could be with, and it's just like you said, slimy because
Yeah.
it's shallow. Really, it's all it is. It's shallow. Like you're not really getting with somebody for their character, their heart, their goals. Do your goals align? Like you're not getting anything for anything real and intimate. You're just, it's like, oh, she's hot or he's hot, and so that's enough for me to throw everything away with maybe somebody else who I could have like a legit intimate relationship with. I'll throw that away because that person out there is hotter, if you will.
Aw, rip. R.I.P.
R.I.P. R.I.P. R.I.P. Okay, so I kind of alluded to this earlier. My last question is about the whole cliche of girls wanting a bad boy, girls wanting the I can fix him dude. Because I don't know. Like I want to talk about if that's true or not, because I know a lot of girls on like will be quick to be like, no, 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 no. I want the good guy. I want the stable guy. I want the guy who will take me on dates. I want the guy who will pay for dinner. I want the guy with a good job, and so on and so forth. But I've seen it happen way too many times where the girls will say that, and then the next week they're with Mikey George, who just got out of prison, or who doesn't have a job, or who is the nonchalant guy, or the rather the emotionally unavailable guy, and it almost kind of seems like a lot of, not all, I know this is a generalization, but a lot of women will say they want the guy who is the one you bring home to mom and dad, but they're pursuing the guy who does kind of seem like a project, if you will, and they want to mold him into the guy you bring home to mom and dad instead of the guy being somebody you bring home to mom and dad from the very beginning. So you hear that. Is that true?
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that? Have you fallen into that? What does that look like?
I feel like girls really like the thrill and they like the challenge of
Okay.
being able to change the guy. They want to be
Mm.
that one girl that could change the
Yep.
whole guy because you see it in movies all the time where like this sweet innocent girl is with the bad boy and the bad boy literally falls in love with her and they have this like crazy erotic, love story. And I feel like every girl longs for that because I feel like the fairy tale boys, like from Cinderella and all that crap, is just it's just outdated, honestly. I think the new thing is the erotic bad boy that's like just gonna
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't know. They're gonna be the bad boy, but I feel like there's, like, different variations of the bad boy. There's, like, the bad boy who,
Okay.
like, drives a motorcycle and has the tattoos and piercings and whatever, and they get into a lot of fights and stuff, and then there's, like, the bad boy who's, like,
Yeah.
a low-life loser, like, that has no job and just got out of
Mm,
prison, like, for
sure.
me, I'm not interested in a guy that, like, just got out of prison and has no job. But what I
Okay.
am interested in is, the rebellious bad boy that I want to lock down.
Mm,
Um, but you want him
yeah.
to be like a lover boy behind, what do they say? Behind the screen? Not that. Behind behind the doors, behind the
behind the
doors.
scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes,
Oh, behind. Okay,
whatever.
okay.
Yeah, both same thing, but like bad boy
Yeah.
on the outside, but a lover boy on the inside, and I feel like all females long for something like that. It's it's kind of like not even fun. There's no chase to it. There's no challenge when you're
Hmm.
just with the good guy. And also, I feel like
Yeah.
things change as you get older and mature. I don't know. Maybe not, because I feel
Mm,
like when I was younger, I did want the bad boy rebellious type of thing, and now it's more of like, why can't I have both, you know? I mean,
yeah.
you want the stability for a relationship. Maybe a guy that looks like a bad boy but is actually really, really sweet. I don't want a bad boy that's going to treat me like shit. So, I think
Hmm.
moral of the story for the answer to this question, I think it's more like we like the chase. We want to be able to try and fix someone, so we could feel accomplished and
Hmm.
good about ourselves. And then we're also indoctrinated. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. However the hell you say that word. But with the fact of like watching these shows, watching movies, reading books of the bad boy and the innocent girl changes him, and they have this crazy burning love story that has a lot of problems, but they just can't get rid of each other. And I am
Hmm.
victim of that. I freaking
Oh.
love those movies. Like, girls, if you're listening to
Hmm.
this, it's like To All the Boys I've Ever Loved Before, or the After series,
Yeah.
or
After.
the
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. After those
oh
after
my
movies. Yep.
god, I read the first book of that, and I was like, this
Yeah.
they're literally describing, like, full-on sex in this book, and I fucking love it. I had never experienced
Yep.
anything like that
Hmm.
before, and and I did the first book, I did the second book, and then the third book, I was like, "Ooh, it's not as good," and then they came out with the movies? Holy fuck me. I
Hmm.
love those
Hmm.
movies. And what's, Carden? Oh my god, he could do whatever he wants
Oh
to me,
yeah, yeah,
honestly,
yeah,
that boy.
yeah.
But
Oh my god.
but I think that's what it is, like, girls like that type of a fairy tale, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, that's how I feel about it, is girls just wanna be able to change the guy, so I feel like it's a preference on what the girl wants, but I feel like more they're gonna choose, like, the hot bad boy over, like, the good boy, I would think.
Yeah, and see that's why I asked because honestly I struggle with this. Well, not so much now. Now I honestly don't care, and I just do my own thing, and I'm happy doing my own thing. But I used to struggle with this a lot because I've always been like the good boy, if you will. Like, yes, I
Mhm.
like a good party. Yes, I can be wild and fun, but I wouldn't say like I've ever been bad. Like, I like. Actually, I don't like. I love like planning date nights. Like I think that's so much fun and I'll
Aw,
do
so
that and I
romantic.
pride myself. I love it. Like there's nothing I love more than like, okay, correct, oh, cool. I know she's off on Friday, so I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna do a scavenger hunt, and she's gonna find rose petals at this location, which is gonna
Oh
lead
my
us to this
god, a
location,
girl's
which is the
dream.
first time we ever. Like I love that stuff, but and when I pride myself on like being emotionally intelligent, like I do it every week, but I talk about my feelings and I'm very intuitive with my feelings and engaged with my feelings and stuff like that. And obviously, practically for my life, like I have two girls I take care of, so I have my crap together. I have a job. My bills are paid. I got money in the bank. I have a car that runs. Like I'm not out here. Like I'm good. So like sometimes I used to, like I said, well, maybe if I'm being honest, sometimes I still feel like this. Like I'll show up to a girl and be like, hey, and it kind of seemed like, oh, well, he already has all his crap together. Like there's like to your point, that chase that oh I can change this and that. Like I feel like some girls, not that I'm saying I'm perfect, there's lots of things she could change if she wanted to, but I just feel like initially there's like, oh well, he's emotionally intelligent, he knows how to talk about his feelings, he has a job, he plans dates, he does all the things, and so like it's just kind of like, oh, so to your point, giving me Anthony, yay, and then another guy like, yeah, I'm Harden, what's up? Like they pick the Harden, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know. I like I said, that used to bother me. And so then my thought was like, well, then I'll just be the bad boy. And then I'll just stop talking about my feelings. And then I'll just, treat them like a piece of meat. But like, it doesn't ever work because like I have two girls, and so like I know ultimately whoever I end up with, they're going to see how I interact with her, and they're going to
Mhm.
internalize that for their future relationships. So I don't ever want to be a bad boy, even if that means I'm going to be alone forever, because I would rather be a good guy and be alone than be a bad guy and see my daughters see me treat women like crap and then think that that's okay and that they deserve to be treated like that too in a relationship one day. So,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's so true.
that's
You
my
never want
speech.
your girls to be treated like that. And also, same thing. Well, I mean, both of our kids, like your girls and Grayson, like they need a good example for what love is, like growing up and stuff.
Yeah.
So, we
Hmm.
want to be able to do that for them. And
Yep.
being the bad boy isn't always going to fulfill that?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, what's your last question? And then I think we're gonna have to do a part two of this because I have a lot more questions that I got. I guess next time we're talking off camera, but next time we do this, people, we're gonna do like maybe a little more
Yeah,
spicy of a Q&A.
raunchy.
Like we're gonna really get a little raunchy. Maybe that time we'll have some juice to help us
Yes, we
really get into some
should.
details. We should. Oh yeah, we should. Actually, that
Okay, I
sounds like a
feel
lot of
great
fun.
about
We should
that.
do that. Okay, but in the meantime, last question. What do we got?
My last question is, um, I feel like a lot of girls, they talk about how men, not men, how when they date guys, you're like dating a man child, like he's not fully grown up, he's immature, whatever. And I have my like notes right here. But they're like man childs nowadays where you have to like tell them like, okay, like you need to wash your clothes or like you have to help put the dishes away or whatever. Like they are basically treating them as if they are their moms. And I also feel like men sometimes they want to be coddled. Not that they shouldn't be, because they should be sometimes. Like, obviously, women should spoil their men sometimes. But how do you feel
Yep.
about the term happy wife, happy life? Um, and isn't the woman always right? How do you feel about those types of things with like guys being man children and the
Mhm.
women should be right and the guy can be coddled a little bit, but like the women
Yeah.
should be the ones that are coddled. Happy wife, happy life. What do you think?
I think I'm speaking from some experience in this because like there was one time, there was not one time, there was a time rather where I lived and died by that statement, happy wife, happy life. The wife is always right. Too much. It was too much of an extreme, to where like I was putting all of my time and energy into making sure when I was married at one point in time that my girls' mom like anything. So like my family would joke, they would be like there would be times where we would all be hanging out in the living room and I would just be standing up like a butler or a robot. And I would just basically, I didn't know I was doing this, but I would just be standing and waiting for her to ask for something or like, hey, can you go and get me this from the kitchen or whatever. Like basically, like I said, a butler ready to go. So like
Yeah.
my family would joke like you were like so tense, like you couldn't just sit down and relax because you're like ready to be there at her beck and call because happy wife, happy life. So let me go get whatever she needs at a moment's notice. And it ultimately was too much because I didn't communicate my needs to her properly because if I felt a certain way about something and she felt a certain way about something because of the happy wife, happy life, I would just automatically default to whatever she wanted to do to make her quote unquote happy. So, like, I would never speak up about things or share my opinion or disagree. And because, like, all right, whatever, yes, 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 let's do this. Let's go eat here. Let's do this with the house and blah, blah, blah. And to our point earlier, it caused issues because like just think about the fact that you have somebody that you're with but they just say yes to you for everything, right?
Hmm.
um like there's no, not that it's just no fun, there's no tension, but it's not real, it's not authentic, because your partner's not going to agree with you on every little thing. And so like I just wouldn't share my emotions about anything because I didn't want to upset her or contradict anything she was saying. So I share all that from personal experience, to where like I agree with that statement to a lot of to a good amount, but I think it can go too much, to where like as men we have to be also willing to share our frustrations or share our feelings, and if we disagree, like being able to share those things and find a nice middle ground, versus the other side of it, to where I think you were kind of getting at, to where you want to be basically the princess in the relationship and you're not doing the work to actually put in effort to, again, pursue your wife, to do things for your wife, to take the lead, to plan the date nights and stuff like that. Like you basically want to be the one for her to come home and hand flowers to you. And I know a lot of guys
Mm-hmm.
who are like that, and I think
Yeah.
that's like no good. And I've never, because like I said, I love being the one to like show up with flowers for my girl and to plan things. And I think that's why like I love being a girl dad, because yeah, I'm not in a relationship, but I can still do little stuff like that for my girls, like take them on dates and to picnics and stuff like that, because I just love that sort of stuff in general. So I think as men, we need to find a good balance of making sure that our ladies are taken care of, that she feels like she is the queen that she is. So we got to do the work, even if we're tired from work and, I got this going on and blah, blah. Like, we just got to man up, pull up our big boy pants, and we need to love our ladies. We got to show up, but don't do what I did and negate your own feelings and dismiss your own feelings because you feel like you don't also have a voice, and it has to 100% be her. So that would be my answer to that.
I feel like that was such a good answer, and I feel the same way. Because I mean, there are definitely instances where the man just needs to man up and he needs to,
Yep.
he's got to do what he needs to do, even if he's
Yep.
tired, whatever. But,
Exactly.
there are also going to be times where the female definitely has to take care of the guy. It could be,
Hmm.
you know, 60 and 40%.
Yeah, sure.
But
That's fine.
yeah, like, I feel like that's fine, but there are gonna be times, where you have to, like, rub your guy's back, like, I don't know, whatever. But also, it'd be nice that if I had a rough day, if I come home to, like, a a candlelit bubble bath, that would be
Hmm.
a fucking slay. That would be great. I want that princess treatment. But, yeah, I was just kind of curious on your take of, like, the happy wife, happy life thing, and I feel like that was a really good perspective for you to talk about how, like, it's, because it is happy wife, happy life, but it could go to an extreme where it's like, what about my life? I'm only
Exactly.
thinking
Yeah.
about her life. What about my life and my feelings? So, gals, if you're listening, you can be a princess and also provide for your
Yeah.
man too.
Because I've
And I
always
know
just
this is
thought
a
about
single
like
parents podcast, but for the future.
for the future and one day, because things change. But I've always thought about it like, you know, sometimes people get caught up in that sort of like, well, I need to be have this done for me because I did this for you, and now it's my turn to be blah 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 blah. That whole like keeping score mentality, I feel like it's dumb, because if your goal is like just to be there to serve and love your spouse, and again, not saying you forget about yourself and you don't pay attention to yourself, but if your goal is like, I'm going to show up from work today and I'm going to love my spouse, listen to them, hear about their day, see how I can serve them. If you're both doing that, then
Mhm.
ultimately your own needs are going to get met, because if your wife is walking through the door saying, "How can I love my husband?" and your husband's walking through the door and say, "How can I love my wife tonight?" then you don't have to keep score. And I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but you shouldn't be keeping score because you're both having your needs met. So like your husband, like, hey, I'm gonna go. Hey babe, I'm gonna start you a bath and I'll bring you some wine. I'll just hang out with the kids. We'll play for a little bit, and you just relax, as I could tell you had a rough day. Then she takes a bath, and like to your point, you don't have to ask, but you're not keeping score. But then she,
Mhm.
before bed, the kids get put to bed, and she like gives her husband a massage or
Yeah.
pours him a drink and says, "Hey babe, like I'll put the kids to bed. I know the game's on and I know that you want to finish watching the game, so like you go finish the game and I'll put the kids to bed." Like, see, it's just
Yeah.
it's a relationship. It's not like a you did this so now I deserve this type thing. It's supposed to be a relationship. And again, like I said, I keep saying this, I haven't been in one in a while, so maybe that's just not how they are anymore, but in my head, I feel like that's just how it's supposed to. You're supposed to be a team, right? Aren't you supposed to
Yeah.
be there for each
No,
other? Maybe, I
I
don't know.
agree. It is like a team thing. Like that's exactly how it's supposed to be, and that's how I envision it
Yeah,
in my mind too. But
yeah,
there have been far too many times where I've dated guys and it's just not that way, and I'm like, fuck. Like, do you want me? Yeah. Like, do you want me to come home with fucking flowers for you? Jeez.
exactly. Yeah, see, it's just ego. It's just selfishness, and I think to like one of the first points we made, I think we're better off. And listen, I think you're better off too. Like understanding like what is it that you want, knowing here's my standards, here's my boundaries. I want somebody who's going to think about me when they get home from work. I want somebody who's going to be able to have a conversation with me, and I'm not settling for that. So being able to walk away and just say, all right, well, guess that's it. Like I'm not, sliding into her DMs or putting an effort with him anymore, because that's just obviously not going to work out, and I'm going to be okay with that and chill and wait until eventually you find somebody who is legit, even if it is a bad boy. But just try to give us nice guys a chance, please. We need love too, please.
Oh,
Just kidding.
you're spitting wisdom. I love that. That was so good. I feel like there's so many times like
Yeah.
after like an episode I'm like, wow, I just feel so much
Mm-hmm.
clarity. I feel so good.
Yes.
I feel like that brought so much clarity. Even like next time it'll be the spicy version, but I feel like that brings so much
Yes.
clarity to me for like how
Mm-hmm.
a man's like mind works. And I feel like it also makes me
Yeah.
think when you ask me questions, I'm like, damn, like how do I think about
Mm-hmm.
that? Like, what is my true deep feelings, in all honesty, like the truth? How do women actually think about that certain thing? So, thank you for
Mm.
answering my questions.
No, thank you for answering my. I love that seesaw analogy. I've still been thinking about that because I struggle with that a lot because of my own insecurities. I think I need to be the robot standing up waiting for my girl to tell me what to do so I can earn her love in a way. I struggled with that, and so the seesaw analogy of like, no, it takes both go up and down, not just one person doing everything. That's a relationship. That's really going to stick with me, and I'm going to really remember that especially when I feel tempted to give into my insecurities and think that I need to do everything in order to earn love. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, I actually think that was on my mind because of the Mel Robbins podcast.
Okay.
I think she talked about the seesaw, and
Okay.
if one person gets off, like all of the weight goes to you. It
Yeah.
all falls on you because the
Hmm.
other person isn't balancing it
Exactly.
out with you. So that was something that I took home, and now you
Dang.
could take it home too. Knowledge.
I'm taking it home. I'm taking it home when I go and have soup for dinner because I've also been thinking about
I
soup this
know.
whole time. So I need
I'm
to go eat
so
some soup.
hungry. I need to
That's
eat some food.
popping. Well, we'll wrap it up there. You guys go get your soup, your chili on, whatever
Yeah.
you classify as a
Your
soup.
chili.
Make sure you subscribe. And don't forget, we need 5 more people to subscribe to us on Spotify to hit 100. So please help us make that happen. Because
Yay.
then, once you're subscribed, you'll be able to hear our spicy Q&A happening whenever we decide to do it.
Woohoo.
Soon.
Yee. Yeah, soon. It's
It'll be
gonna be
soon.
coming soon. I already have my
Soon.
answers prepped and ready,
Hmm.
so.
I gotta think of some. I gotta. What would I ask you? Oh, actually, I have a perfect question. I'm gonna ask you. I already got it locked and loaded because
Okay.
yeah, okay, all right, I got a good one. So you all subscribe, stick around. We'll do the spicy Q&A next time, and until next time, thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Yeah, peace and blessings.